The movie begins with a 9-year-old boy named Ishan. Ishan is playing by the pond in front of his school, holding a strainer to catch tiny fish and put them inside a bottle. Suddenly, someone grabs him from behind by his clothes and drags him toward the bus. It's the school bus driver, who is furious because he's been waiting for Ishan for over 10 minutes. When Ishan finally gets home, he greets the neighborhood dogs, Shiro and Johnny, and tosses them a piece of paper. This paper is actually his school report card, and the dogs chew it up and destroy it, even though he was supposed to hand it over to his parents. Once Ishan makes sure the report card is completely ruined, he goes upstairs and puts the fish he caught into his small tank on top of the refrigerator, continuing his day normally. A few minutes later, his older brother, Johan, arrives and tells their mother that he got the highest marks in all of his subjects. The mother is incredibly proud of Johan and asks Ishan about his report card, but Ishan doesn't answer, walks away, and goes outside to watch his neighbors playing a match. During the game, the kids throw the ball toward Ishan and ask him to bring it back. Ishan picks it up but accidentally throws it way too hard, sending it flying far away. A boy named Ranjit walks up to Ishan, screams at him, and orders him to go get the ball. Ishan stands his ground and refuses to move, which makes Ranjit furious. Ranjit shoves Ishan, and despite being smaller and younger, Ishan fights back. The two tackle each other to the ground, and Ranjit scratches Ishan's face, controls him by the neck, and tries to twist his arm. To defend himself, Ishan bites Ranjit, forcing him to let go. Ishan runs away crying, finds a stray kite, and decides to play with it to calm down before heading home. Shortly after, Ranjit and his mother come to Ishan's house to complain. Ishan's father, Nankishore, yells at his son and blames him for starting the fight. Ranjit lies further, claiming Ishan also tore his shirt, which infuriates Ishan so much that he lunges at Ranjit again before his parents pull him back. After the neighbors leave, Nankishore scolds Ishan, telling him that he does nothing but bring trouble and that they get daily complaints about him from both the school and neighbors. He almost hits him again, but the mother stops him, and the father warns Ishan that one more complaint will send him straight to boarding school. Afterwards, the mother cleans the wounds on Ishan's face and tells him she knows. Ranjit is a troublemaker, advising him to stay away. The next day at school, the teacher, Ms. Irene, asks Ishan to read a sentence in English and explain each word. However, Ishan stands there unable to do it, because it turns out he has a learning disability and cannot read. But Ms. Irene assumes he is just a lazy student who doesn't care about his studies. Ms. Irene kicks Ishan out of the classroom, and he is forced to stand in the hallway. After the period ends, Ishan returns to the classroom, where a classmate asks him about the math homework and whether his parents signed his report card. Ishan realizes that since he didn't do the homework and doesn't have the signed report card, the next teacher is going to give him a severe scolding. He decides to grab his backpack and sneak out of the school, even though it isn't dismissal time yet. Ishan escapes into the streets and spends the day wandering around the city. For Ishan, this walk is undoubtedly more beneficial than any regular school day, as walking the streets and watching people's daily lives teaches him things he could never learn inside a classroom. At the end of the school day, Ishan returns to the school, boards the bus, waits for his classmates, and goes home as if nothing happened. At home, his mother helps him with his homework, but she grows increasingly frustrated when she notices that Ishan isn't improving at all. He constantly makes the same spelling mistakes, and she can't understand why he keeps failing despite practicing dictation with him every single day. That night, Ishan wakes up his older brother, Johan, and confesses that he skipped half the school day. He begs Johan to write a fake excuse note, pretending to be their father to justify his absence. At first, Johan refuses, but after Ishan keeps pleading, Johan finally gives in and writes it. The next day, the teacher reads the note, which claims Ishan was too sick to attend classes the previous day. Shortly after, the teacher announces a surprise math test, giving the students 30 minutes to finish it. Naturally, Ishan has no idea how to solve the problems. Instead, he loses himself in his own world, daydreaming a fantasy story where he is an astronaut. In his mind, he decides to change the order of the solar system, moving Earth from the 3rd position to the 9th position, where Pluto is. Based on this imaginary cosmic battle, Ishan reaches a bizarre conclusion. 3 times 9 equals 3. The next morning during breakfast, the father finds the forged note Johan wrote. He asks his wife Maya if she was the one who wrote it, and she says no. Ishan overhears them and realizes he is in deep trouble. As usual, Nankishore starts insulting and yelling at his son, demanding to know how he missed his classes when he was dropped off at school. Ishan confesses that he ran away from school and wandered the streets. Nankishore loses his temper even more, shouting, "What if you had been kidnapped? What would we have done? Who wrote this note for you? I know you are a failure, stupid, and don't even know how to write." Hurt and angered by these harsh words, Ishan snaps and admits that Johan wrote the note. Consequently, Nankishore and Maya go to the school to meet with the principal and the teachers to address the situation.